This is learning by doing. Today's lesson is entering and formatting data in Excel. You will learn how to create an Excel table, sort and filter data in Excel table, make reference to other worksheet and relative and absolute references. And then you will learn some functions that you will need to solve the problem. So today's problem, it's a postdoc job application problem. We want to determine how much time does a postdoc spend to apply for a job. So if he works 40 hours a week, like does he spend like 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week applying for a job? Okay. So we introduce the problem. So here is like the job title, the department, the university, city, state, and the application date when he applied, and the status, whether he got like an interview or no interview or something like that. So the problem is the first question that we need to answer here: at what state he applied most? So how could we know at what state he applied most? So here we have like the state, but they are like random order sorted by like this series. Now, one way to do this is that like you can come here, you go to data, you go to sorting, and then here it's asking you a question like expand this selection or continue with the current selection. Expand this selection because I don't want to sort like this column only, but I want to like sort this column with its adjacent column. So for example, like this is University of Hawaii, Manoa, and Hawaii. So like if I just selected this option, it will only sort like this column. If I selected to expand this selection to here and here, then it will like see, for example, when go to Hawaii, so I have like Hawaii here and Hawaii here, so now they match. So I sorted this, and then I can look at the state. So here, like this is like in Alaska, he applied for one. In California, he applied for so many of them. In California, Colorado, few, Egypt, Florida, Germany, New York. So I can like, for example, count the number of jobs in New York, just like 14. In California, that is like 27. So I applied for 27 jobs in California, and then you can go through the list. Texas, you can like select here, that's like 16, so that's also a lot, and that's like would be like the end of the list. So it seems like from just by visually looking at them, Florida 13, by visually looking at them, the ones that he applied most would be like California. So that would be California, and it would be like 28. Okay. In what state he was interviewed most? So how can we do this? So here you find like the application status is like some. So like one way to do this is like you come here, you like select this column, and again like in the same ribbon of data you do like filter. So like you filter this, and then here you will have like the items like in your filter. So here like that's all like the items that you will find in this column is like some has like interview on campus, some has interview online, some application they didn't interview him, so he was not selected for an interview, and some application he just prepared, like he entered the application but he decided not to submit the application. So that's like the application status. So we want to see where he was interviewed most. So you here like you unselect all of them and you just select the one where he was interviewed, whether like a campus interview or an online interview. So you see here like how many times he was interviewed. For example, like if you select here, the status value count. So he had like 23 interviews. At what state he was interviewed most? So like California here, that's like about 3 of them. Colorado, Finland, Florida, that's like 4 of them. Texas, Utah. So it seems that he was interviewed most in Florida. So that's like the filter option. I can do even more filter, like for example, like if I unselect all, I can do double filter. Like I can select like all this column here and I do like a filter here, then I can make like a filter within a filter, right? So for example, I will select the California, for example, okay? And then I will select where he were interviewed, like so interview, so I will select like interview online. So in California, you see he was like interviewed in like these 3 places in California. Okay, so that would be like a filter within a filter. To unfilter, you just double click here and then you will unfilter your data. So the second question, in what application he was interviewed most, I think that's Florida. And how many times? You can see like if you wanna put this information. So you do like filter, you select this one, for example, and then Florida, he was interviewed there like 4 times. Okay. Now you see here they are sorted because I sorted them before. Like, but if I didn't sort them before, then I would probably not have them sorted, and I would need probably to do something like, you know, if I filter, like I would need to select this, filter all of them, then I will do campus interviews, this one, and then I will like I have all the state, I will select Florida, for example, and then I will have like 4 of them. So that's where he was like interviewed, for example, in Florida. Okay, so just like 4 times. Okay, now that's the main questions that we want to ask. Like giving the table below, how many hours a week on average does a postdoc spend applying for jobs? So if he like read the advertisement and like recorded like this information, that takes a postdoc about 5 minutes. So 5 minutes, I put here like 5/60 because I need this like an hour, so that's like 0.08 hour. If he just submitted an application, so it takes about like 15 minutes for each application. If that application was like further processed and he was asked for an interview, the online interview takes him like the interview time and the preparation time and like the application time, so it'll be about 4 hours. Campus interview, that will take about a week, because think about it, like 2 days like in the interview, 1 day traveling, and about 2 days to prepare for it. Okay, so now I want to, for each of these category, I want to see the number of applications. So like how to do this, like so one way to do it is that you will come here, you will filter, and then you will filter for the not submitted, okay, and then you count them, like you click here, you click here, and then you see like the count is like would be 20. That's like one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is that you can create like a function that counts them for you, like without filtering or anything. So let me unfilter this and let me show you some functions. So what is a function? A function is, for example, like I have some strings here like A, C, D, A, B, like, and some numbers here. Like I want to sum these numbers. So we learned it before, to sum these numbers, I can come like say like this one plus 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 this one. So that will be like 41, for example. So An easier way is just to use a sum function, like a function that will sum them for you. So like you come here, you put equal, you like a function, the sum, then you select them, then you get like the same 41. Another function, for example, I'm just showing you different functions, like a minimum function, like what's the minimum value in this column, in this array. So one thing you can do, you can come minimum. We know here it's 1, so we select these ones, and you close the bracket, and then exactly as we expected. What is the maximum value here? You can do the same, maximum. So max, one function, you select here, that should be 8, and then we got 8. What's the median, for example? Median, like the value in the middle, and then that would be like 7, like average. You can say do average or like a mean. So you here like you select the average. You like, for example, you select the range. You can do standard deviation, like for example, also. So you can do like standard deviation function, get something, and then another thing, like you can make like a logical function like countif. So like, or count, like let's just even do count. So like I just can count. So you know, like remember, like when I selected this here, it counts them for me as 7. So the count function is like, the count function, it would be like count, and then like, for example, if I selected this, and then it will count them for me, and it should be 7. So like you counted these are 7. Countif is like I count by a condition. So like I said, like equal count if I select the range and I select the condition. So the condition is like count any cells that has a value of 8. So you do this, and then you get 3 of them, because you have like here 1, 2, 3. And then I can do this for a string also. Like I can say like count if I select like the range here, and then I select the string. The string, you need to put it in brackets. So let's say I want to count how many A's do I have here, for example. So A's. So I have like 3. I want to count how many D's, for example, that I have here. That would be like 1. I only have 1 D here. So basically what is this doing is like, it's going through this like list or array, and then from within this range, and then counting how many occurrence of D, which is 1, for example. If I put, for example, F, what do you think will be the value? Be 0, because there is no F here, so that will be 0. Okay, so I can do the same here. I can, the number of application, I can say like count if, and then I select the range, but the range is, so I'm now making a reference to another cell. So that's the second lesson that you will learn today, is how to make a reference to another cell. So I go to here, and then I select like, that's the range that I want. That's like all like the applications that I have. So now I have like, and then like the conditions that could be like not submitted. That's like the what I want to count. So these are like 21. So the number, and I can align it to the middle. So these are like 20 applications that are not submitted. I mean, I can do the same for this one. So let me show you. So like I can just like copy here, Control C, Control V, and then I can select this, like I just changed my condition to like no, just make it bigger. I can change my condition here to no interview, because that's what I want to count. And then I got 162, but like, see here, I have a problem here. because like when I did count, like when I did copy and paste, it did an automatic fill to the next value. So like you see here, I'm starting from H2 to H207, but here it did an automatic fill, so it like started like H3 to H208. Like, let me show you it again. Like here, this one, that would be like, what it did is like H4 to H9 and so on. So, but I don't want this. I just want like, let me show you, like I have this selection. I just want like this selection from 207 to here. I don't want it to like make the second one like starting from here and the third one starting from here. Like I don't want this like automatic like pattern like recognition. So that is the second lesson that we're gonna learn today, is like relative and absolute reference. So let me tell you what's a relative and absolute reference. Let's say I have a constant here. Let's call it 10. And then I have some value here like 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, you can just fill it automatically. Okay, so you're just doing like this fill. Now I want B to be equal to like A multiplied by this constant. So I come here, I got like A, I multiply it by the constant, and then I got the B. Then I fill, and then I got 0. Why? Because here it did like an automatic like did this automatic fill like from here to here. Like this one would be from here to here. It just did this like automatic pattern like recognition. Like, so what do I want to do? I want to fix this. I don't want this to change in like this direction. I just want it to be like just in this, like just this value, not to do this like automatic filling. So here I can do a relative reference. So when I come here, so I want to fix this along the B. So that's exactly, no, not along the B, along the 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't want to go down like this. So I come here and I just put this dollar sign. Okay. Now if I put this dollar sign, let me double click here. I got exactly what I want. So I got like this one just multiplied by this value without like learning this pattern and going down. This one just multiplied by this value. So you put this dollar sign here. That's relative filling. Now, if I click filled in this direction, then I got another 0. Why? Because now it's like learning the pattern. Is that like to move from this one to this one. But I don't want this. I want C to be like this one, not multiplied by this one, but again multiplied by this constant, like this constant here. So I want to also fix it along this direction. So if I put another dollar sign here, that would be like absolute, that would be an absolute reference. So this means like, let me do it here now. So now it just logged it to this value, like so. If I moved here, for example, another one, that would be like this one times like this one. So now I just logged it to this value. If I filled it here, and then I just got exactly what I need. So this value multiplied by this constant. Okay. So similarly, we can do the same with copying with anything. So here, for example, I want to copy this with this copy like this with this correct range. So so after I select this range, I just like do like fix it, like so I want to fix this from 2 to 2. Now if I like did here, like so you see now I'm copying it, I'm getting it, I'm copying it, I'm getting exactly what I need. Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. So I just got exactly what I need. Now here I need to change this because now I don't want to now I want to count the no interview, so here no interview. Here like would be like interview on line. Okay, and here will be like interview campus. Okay. So here, like 20 application, like he didn't submit them, he just looked at them but didn't submit them. 163, he submits them but no response. 19, he submitted them and got an interview online, and only 4, he submits them and got a campus interview. So what is the time, like how much time did this took him? You just like the time per application times the number of application of that category, and you can here decrease this decimal. You don't need to show all these decimals. So yeah, you don't even need to. You can decrease all of them. So that category of application has 20 of them. It took him about 2 hours. This one, like this category, 41 hours. This category, although he only has 4 of them, but it takes so much time, so that takes him about 160 hours. So that's so now we want to see the sum of time in all category, like how much time did he spend on applying for jobs. So how to do this? Total application time. So you just sum this time. So how to sum this time? Again, you can come here, select this one plus this one plus this one plus this one, or you can just do a sum function. So you come here like sum function and you select these guys. Then is a total number. That's like the total number per hour. So he spent like a total about like 278 hours to apply for job. But over what period? Because we want to see like per month. So what is the period that he did this? So you need to know this period. So the period is like what is the application start date, when he started applying, when was he stopped applying. So we want to see the period. So the period could be, so that would be, again, you can use a minimum function. You can like select minimum, and then you come here, you go to the application date, and you select, that will select this one. Okay, so here's that's when he started applying on July 17, 2021, and then end date, that would be like the maximum date in this one. And how, again, we can just like fix this. Okay, like we want it from 2 to 7. Okay, and then we can come here, we can copy this one, and then it changes function from minimum to maximum. So he stopped, like the last application he did that was in 2022 December, like in December. Okay, application period per day. So what's the application period like? That's like the end date minus the start date. Okay, that's about 500. So that's like that's in date. So like how many weeks are these? So we want, oops, so you come here, you select this because you want this in weeks, not in days. So, and you don't need all this decimals. So it's about like that period, like it's about like almost like 2 years, which is about like 72 weeks. So now that's how much time he spent in the period, like in the 72 weeks. So in 1 week, how much time would he spend? So basically, you divide like, so that's the number of hours by like the number of weeks. So he spends about, you can decrease the decimal, about like 4 hours a week to apply for job. Okay, now 4 hours a week, what percent of his time does it take him to do this? So like assuming that he works like 40 hours a week, he spent like 4 hours a week, or like, then what you can do, you can say like 4 over, like assume that he works like 40 hours a week, like, so that's about like 9.7%. One thing you can do here, like in this like formatting, you can like percentage, like do it like a percent style, which could be like 7.9 or like 10%. So he spent about 10% of his time. So an average postdoc will spend about 10% of his time applying for job. And that was like the lesson for today. You learned how to sort and filter, how to make reference to other worksheets, relative and absolute reference, and you learned some function.